Hey everybody, this is Dream, and yesterday we had a really solid day, so let's hope we can continue that. So today is the trade deadline day, so we will know by 3 o'clock if anything gets upended here. There are quite a few questionable tags on the slate, but not a whole lot, comparative to the amount of games at least. There are a lot of probable tags as well, but we'll get into that as we go around. I really don't have any core plays today as I just didn't like anybody that much today, so I'm going to be playing today lightly partially because of the trade deadline, partially because the slate just kind of stinks. So let's get into the injury report. For the Warriors, Chris Paul and Payton are out. For the Pacers, Halliburton, Mathurian, and Smith are questionable. For the Cavaliers, Mobley is doubtful. For the Nets, Johnson, Sharp, Walker, and DFS are out. For the Mavericks, Kleber is questionable, and Lively and Exum are out. For the Knicks, Brunson is questionable, and Randall, OG, Robinson, and Grimes are out. For the Bucks, Lillard is questionable, and Middleton is out. For the Bulls, Craig is questionable, and Levine and Williams remain out. For the Grizzlies, Jackson Jr. and Rose are questionable. Morant, Bain, Smart, Z. Williams are out. And then for the Suns, Beal is questionable. So we do have a lot of questionable tags. Hopefully those things will get resolved pretty early, and we'll have to wait and see how the trades play out in this slate. But we do have some plays that look interesting today, so we're going to go ahead and start with Wendell Carter Jr. He was pretty much the closest guy for being a core play. The only issue, honestly, is that his last few games have been a little bit inconsistent. He does have a very great matchup here against the Spurs, though he didn't have a game where he paid off a few nights ago when he played the Spurs on the 31st. So I have a little bit of concern about him, but I do think he's very close to being a core play, and he's priced pretty fairly as his prices come down as a result of the play. But he should get a full complement of minutes and has double-double potential. I do like him some because of the matchup here. Then we'll look at Vucevic for the Bulls. Now, I do like the Bulls today as Vucevic has some nice upside in this matchup. Memphis is not playing much defense, and Vucevic has played very well lately, especially with Levine out. He's getting more usage, and he's getting close to double-doubles most games. I do like his upside in this game as he definitely can get in the mid-40s to even 50 fantasy points. So he's definitely a solid play on the slate, very close to being a core play as well. Honestly, the two best plays on the slate are centers, which definitely doesn't make it easy. Looking at Caruso here for the Bulls, he is probable to play, but I do expect him to likely play. Um, he's played very good since Caruso's been out, though his price has come up as a result. It did come back down a couple $100 today. The matchup is not quite as good as some of the other game options, but he has some good upside, and he's been getting a lot of rebound. Or sorry, he's been getting a lot of peripheral stats, rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals. Though I can't roster somebody based on blocks and steals, but he's been getting quite a few of them lately. I think he's had at least 3 of those in the last few games, so he's definitely in play today, but he definitely carries some risk. We also like Markel Fultz today as kind of a value play, as he's played pretty good since he's been entered the starting lineup. He's had a couple floor games, but his price here is pretty good at just 22 fantasy points he needs. And he's been doing really good above that in the last few games. His price has also come down some, which is a little surprising considering the fact he's moved in the starting lineup. So I do like his potential here against the Spurs, who don't play much defense. Looking at Banchero for the Orlando as well. Orlando does have a favorable matchup here, and he's been playing very well. His price has also come down a little bit, which gives him some more upside, as he does have that 50 fantasy point upside. Though he's had some ups and downs throughout the season, he's definitely somebody to consider on this slate, as he's priced nice and fairly and is in a good matchup. DiVincenzo for the Knicks is also in play. Um, he's played very well with the injuries to other Knicks like Randall since he's been out, and he's really upped his game and usage. The question here would be if Brunson was to miss too, since he's questionable, that would even give him even more upside. So Dante is definitely in play today, though his price has come up considerably. So he's definitely not a core play, but he's definitely somebody that's worth taking a look at. DeMar DeRozan for the Bulls also playing in a pretty well lately. He has that similar high upside like Vucevic does, and Banchero for that matter. He's he can score 50 fantasy points at different times as long as they keep the game close, which I think they will since Memphis basically is barely fielding a team at this point. He should have a good opportunity to pay off here. He definitely carries a little bit of risk because he could end up getting traded today, but we'll have to wait and see on that. But looking at Franz Wagner for Orlando, Orlando looks really solid today, like I said, and Wagner's played very well lately. However, he did have a slow down game against Miami that he didn't do quite as well in. But that said, that typically happens against Miami, and this is a nice bounce back situation for him. And so he's definitely worth a look here. And then finally, last but not least, we're going to look at Wemby for the Spurs. Now, the Spurs do get a tougher matchup here against Orlando. However, Wemby's been absolutely fantastic lately. He's a little bit higher priced than Banchero or uh, DeRozan and Vucevic, but he's definitely capable of that 50-point game, and he's been very consistent throughout the season. Even in the tougher matchups, he's been getting close to 50, with Miami game last night being probably the weakest game he's had in a little while. But, Miami really does slow the game down. However, Wemby is playing very solid, so he's definitely worth a look, and if he should be able to get a double-double at the very least, and he's still just a little bit too cheap considering how he's played lately. So he's definitely in play on the slate. And then last but not least, we're going to look at Trey Jones. Now, he didn't have a great game here yesterday against the Spurs, but he's been playing pretty well, consistent throughout the season. Sorry, he did have a pretty good game against Miami yesterday. I meant about the Cavs game, but anyway, he's been playing pretty well and consistent since he's joined the starting lineup, and so he's worth a look today. But he does carry a little bit more risk on this slate. With that said, guys, thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. And have a nice day, guys.